Yes, this is DJ Ski, and this is the Sports Card Strategy Show. You already know there is no off-season.
I'm Jeff Wilson, and I'm loving the content here on the Sports Card Strategy Show. There is no off-season.
All right, you ready to rock?
Ready to go.
What's up, everybody? I'm Paul Hickey with NoOffSeason.com. This is the Sports Card Strategy Show. Don't forget to get a free 30-day trial at NoOffSeason.com today to help you make money flipping sports cards, build your sports card investment portfolio, get unlimited advice from our experts, and take sports card school to navigate the hobby. That's NoOffSeason.com. Get your free 30-day trial today. All the data we use on the Sports Card Strategy Show is from MarketMoversApp.com. Use code NOOFFSEASON at MarketMoversApp.com to get 20% off for life after a free 14-day trial. All right, let's get to the Sports Card Strategy. There are many ways to make money in the sports card hobby, flipping sports cards. I'm Paul Hickey with NoOffSeason.com. This is the Sports Card Strategy Show. I am pumped to talk about one major way of making money flipping sports cards, and that is buying already graded cards, the right card for the right player at the right time, which implies price in and having a selling marker in mind to cash out. Today, we're going to talk about our top 5 cards to buy, graded, and flip. We're going to go through my segment of being okay, being outbid. And I finally 10x'd a flip. I've been flipping sports cards for going on 5 years now, and I had never 10x'd until this past week. So I'm excited to tell you more about that. And of course, we got a new segment called Will It Gem? We did that on Monday. We're going to do it again today. That shows all of you my recent grading submissions, how I'm building them, what I'm doing. Am I cracking them out of slabs? Am I buying them raw? And we examine my cards together, and you tell me if you think it's going to gem. I'll tell you if I think it's going to gem. And then, of course, when I get that submission back, we're going to recap it, because that is a big way to make money flipping sports cards as well. We're also going to talk about repack products. We're going to open a repack product together on today's show from Arena Club. Arena Club drops slab packs consistently. Let me know if you guys have heard of these slab packs. And we are going to open one on today's show together. But first, you know what time it is. It's time for some live chat love. So don't feel left out if you're listening on Apple and Spotify, or if you're watching it back at youtube.com/Paul Hickey, or if you're over on Instagram Live, because I can't see the live chat on Instagram Live. And we're live on Instagram. We're live on X. We're live on Twitch. We're live on youtube.com/Paul Hickey. We're live on my LinkedIn account, my Facebook account. You can get the show in a lot of different places. Let's say hello to our live chat, though, who is in the house. Gabe Davis. Let's go, Gabe Davis. Mr. T. Sergeant Slabs. Good to see you back and alive. David T. in the house. What is up? And Shane Graham. Shane, we missed you on Monday in the live chat. Good to see you back, my man. A lot of regulars here in the live chat. We love all of you. Joel Kaplan's here. Just to talk Bronny, my guy. Just to talk Bronny. That's an inside joke between Joel and I. You know, there's a lot of good friends I've made, actually, many of which I've never met face to face. Joel Kaplan and I are kind of starting to become friends through Instagram DM. Brian Zelazny in the house says, first time making a live show. Good afternoon. We've got a lot of NoOffSeason.com premium members in the house. So I thank everyone. Everyone's part of the NoOffSeason.com fam in my eyes. So anyone who listens to the show, you know, maybe doesn't partake in the premium membership, that's okay. You're still supporting us. You're still supporting me, and I really appreciate that. You're making the hobby a better place by listening to the Sports Card Strategy Show. You really are, because we help people make money. But what we really do is we help prevent people from making dumb mistakes and wasting money. And that keeps people in this great hobby. So even greater than making money is the greater good of keeping people in the hobby. And I just want to say hello to everybody out there, and I appreciate you, but a special thank you to people like Brian Zelazny, people like David T, who I know are premium members at nooffseason.com. And you can get a free 30-day trial right now. We've never been better. We've never had better content than we do right now, and it's only going to get better. So you definitely should get a free 30-day trial right now at nooffseason.com. As Mr. T likes me to say, we're better than Netflix, baby. David Kish is in the house. David Kish, that's a new name. Good to see you. All right, so drop your L's and dubs if you're in the live chat and continue to comment in the live chat. I'll shout you out at the end of the show. But remember, what we really want you to do to help us out is subscribe at youtube.com/Paul Hickey. As my guy Andy Kaysen would say, smash the like button. Smash the subscribe button. As my guy Jeff Wilson would say, hit that bell icon, right? Subscribe at youtube.com/Paul Hickey. It helps us out a lot. And of course, you can always join the Discord. Go to sportscardstrategy.com. Click the link to join the Discord. It's an active invite that we update so you can join the ongoing conversation. All right. Speaking of the ongoing conversation, let's go over to our question of the day. Question of the day. I mentioned repack products, and there was some controversy in the hobby just a couple of weeks ago about repack products. And the hobby loves controversy. I don't like drama. I like to help you strategically maneuver in and out of cards so that you can make money and have fun. But repack products can be good and they can be bad. How do you feel about repack products? Hit us up on IG on the pinned post at Sports Card Strategy. So follow us on IG. That's another way to be part of the fam and communicate with me and the team. We're at Sports Card Strategy on IG. Comment on the pinned post today. How do you feel about repack products? Appreciate everyone's participation. And of course, comment on this video at youtube.com/Paul Hickey. How do you feel about repack products? We are going to open one on today's show. And, maybe that changes your opinion of repack products. Maybe it doesn't. Okay, it's time to get into our top 5 sports card opportunities to buy, graded, and flip, courtesy of The Formula. And before we do that, actually, I'm gonna say hello to Vincent Rulo in the live chat from LinkedIn. He says Tatum is a no-brainer buy right now compared to Ant-Man. Interesting. Vincent, you obviously are not familiar with our formula at nooffseason.com, because our formula takes the concept of the right card for the right player at the right time, which we always talk about. And I would definitely normally agree with you, Vincent, before I built the formula. Before I built the formula, I would say, okay, Tatum, definitely hasn't gone up in pricing yet, and Ant-Man has. And so it's very dangerous to buy Ant-Man right now. I'll give you that. But what we do is we run a ridiculous amount of cards through the formula at nooffseason.com for premium members. You should check it out, brother. Just go to nooffseason.com, get a free 30-day trial. So it's free. And go to our sports card rankings and our formula-based sports card rankings. So it's math. And it's raw to grade, and it's already graded. So there's 2 different tabs. Right now, even though Ant-Man is up in price, there are more opportunities to make money on the raw to grade side on Ant-Man than there are any opportunities to make money on Jason Tatum. So I'll leave it at that, but I appreciate the comment. And I just say the proof is in the data, man. I mean, if you're not looking at the data and you're not buying the right card for the right player at the right time, going where they ain't, and using our formula at nooffseason.com, then you're highly, highly, highly risking losing money. You could, because the other thing, Vincent, and everybody else out there, is that you definitely can make the right play. Like, you can buy a Tatum silver rookie PSA 10 right now. And let's say you get that for $800 in a PSA 10. You could sell that for like $950 or $1,000 in a few weeks if he makes it, if he continues to move on in the NBA playoffs. And I hope he doesn't, because I'm rooting for Darius Garland for my own selfish reasons, because I'm holding some Garland cards. But I think Tatum probably will. And I think his card prices will go up, to Vincent's point. However, it could still be a loss with all the eBay fees. So I think you make a good point about Tatum, and I appreciate your analysis there, Vincent, in the live chat. Thank you for joining us. Please stay part of the family. I would like your thoughts on our formula, though. If you get a free trial at nooffseason.com, I'd love it. Mr. T prefers slot machines to repacks. Ryan Painter in the house. Okay. I do see Shane Graham's question in the live chat, so I'm going to try to get to that later on in the show, because we will talk more about Ant-Man, and his question is about Ant-Man. Although the best place to get your questions answered, guys, I've said this a lot on recent episodes, is the Overflow Show. It's the premium pod on Fridays. Go to nooffseason.com/ask. I prefer to answer questions where I have time to dig into the data, the analysis, and come up with a more intelligent answer than I would on the fly on this show. So give me a chance to do that by going to nooffseason.com/ask, get a free 30-day trial. I think you'll see that my answer on the Overflow Show on Fridays will definitely provide you a lot of value. But I'll try to answer later for Shane Graham, because he is a loyal member of the nooffseason.com fam. He's hot on the Discord all the time, and he's in just about every live chat. If you listen to the pod, you know Shane Graham's name. All right, so let's jump into our top 5 sports card opportunities to buy, graded, and flip. Spoiler alert for our new listener, Vincent Rulo, our new commenter, by the way. He could be a longtime listener. Jason Tatum is not on this list. Not on this list. Okay, so here we go. Number 1 on the list is Paolo Banchero. Sorry, I misspoke. He's number 5. We're counting down. We're counting down our top 5 cards. And I'm going to start this over again. So there's actually, I typically do this. I start with 5, and then I add a few for bonus for you guys for listening to the pod. And there are actually 7 cards. So we have 2 bonus cards. One of the bonus cards is in at number 7, Paolo Banchero's 2022 Prism 249 Silver in PSA 10. This is a pop 589 card. So here's how the math works with the formula on this one. So you would buy in at the current entry-level price. You can get it recently. It has sold for as low as $220. So that would be our snipe price. The last sale, though, is $301. So the profit margin is shrinking here because we project this card based on historical data across number 1 overall picks with all their hype going into their 3rd NBA season in this particular card, right? We project this to sell in October for around $320. So this is an October play where you would buy in May, right? And stay tuned at nooffseason.com to track this card, right? Because we update the formula pricing every single day, and the pricing changes frequently. Like this card sold yesterday. So $301 entry price. We want you to try to snipe it for less than that. We think that you could get upwards of a 17% profit margin. So now in the formula, we take into account all your fees when you get in and all your fees when you get out. And we're assuming that you're selling on a platform like eBay because we want to be conservative about this. So if you were able to actually buy this card and then flip it off of eBay, say on a platform that doesn't charge as much of a exit fee for the seller, then you could profit even more. But conservatively, we see a potential 17% profit margin on this Banchero Prism Silver. We like Paolo as a player. You know, the fact that he took the Magic and turned them around very quickly into a playoff team is very impressive. He's the number 1 player on that team, which is another factor that we look at when we're trying to help you make money flipping sports cards. Okay, in at number 6, and you're going to see this guy a couple times on this list. And again, this is already graded cards. So for the already graded cards, you're not doing anything to increase their value. So you really have to snipe at the right time. And then you really have to look at historical data to understand why this card will go up in the future and at what point you should sell it. So for this card, Jordan Love 2020 Optic 154 Purple Shock PSA 10, the formula tells us we can make about 23% on this card. So if you can snipe it at its current price of $111, that would be a good target price to get in at. Historical data for not only Jordan Love, but for quarterbacks with this card in this position going into this actual year of their career. We project this card to sell for about $170 in September. Okay. So that's a 23% profit margin. So the profit margins are much less typically on the already graded cards because you have to buy in at a premium for a PSA 10 versus the raw to grade cards, which we do every Monday. There's more of a profit margin typically. There's the risk of not getting the PSA 10, but we build all of that into the formula at nooffseason.com. Okay, so we went basketball, we went football. Let's go back to basketball. And at number 5, so technically now we're counting down the top 5 already graded cards to make money on. Zion Williamson's 2019 Optic Hollow 158 PSA 10. Entry level price $130, although this is fluctuating a little bit. Now, the most recent comp as of a couple days ago is 147, but we've kept the snipe price at 130 because there are very, very recent comps at the 130 price point. So we want you to get in there. We project this card to sell potentially for $225. And again, this is based on Zion historical data. We think that this is actually a card that would sell. You would want to hold. This is not an October sale of $225. This would be a little bit riskier than that. This would be a May sale, assuming that Zion can stay healthy, make it through a playoff series. I mean, he looked darn good in the play-in tournament. Remember, guys, the play-in tournament before he got injured, Zion was dominant. If he can hold that together, and it doesn't even matter if Brandon Ingram stays healthy. I mean, it would be even better if Ingram did. But if Zion, Ingram, Valanciunas, McCollum, and Trey Murphy III, and then they're extremely deep bench with Larry Nance Jr., Jose Alvarado, if all of those guys can stay healthy, now that's a big if. But to buy in at this card for $130 in a slightly desirable card, I mean, there's not a huge pop count for this card. It's only pop 597, believe it or not. Of all the Zion cards, this is only pop 597, which is minuscule compared to some of his other pop counts. That's partially why I like it, because it's that balance of accessibility and desirability. So if you can get in for 130 or around 130, I think based on historical data, this is not just me hypothesizing. This is historical data. Zion can make it to May and be relevant next season. This is a $225 card. You've got fees and everything like that, though. So this is about a 38% profit margin. Okay. We went from basketball to football, back to basketball. Now we're going to go back to football. How about Josh Allen? Okay. We all know Josh Allen, and not the one in Jacksonville on the defensive side of the ball. The one in Buffalo under center or in the shotgun. His 2018 Select 139 Premier Level Silver PSA 10. Okay, this is only a pop 311, and it's going to be hard to find at $250, but its most recent sale, and actually the average of its most recent sales, are right around $250. So we love this card, and we don't typically love Josh Allen, but the formula doesn't care who we love. We run a bunch of different cards through the formula, and the formula tells us what to buy. We are unemotional about this. Unlike how some of our nooffseason.com fam are emotional about Bronny James, we are unemotional about any of the cards we talk about on the Sports Card Strategy Show. We just care about making money, and we want to help you make money. And Josh Allen's 2018 Select 139 Prism Premier Level Silver, rather, in PSA 10 is a card you can get in for around $250. How do you do that? You can go to nooffseason.com. Check out Josh Allen's player profile there. We're linking directly to the eBay listings of this card. There are auctions available now. And this is a $450 card historically, just in September. So this is the perfect example of going where they ain't. And 44% profit margin. 44% profit margin, return on investment. And again, just to kind of level set, again, one more time, the formula at nooffseason.com helps you prioritize. So there's a bunch of different cards that you can make money on out there. But like to Vincent's point earlier on in the live chat, he has a hunch that Jason Tatum's card is going to go up over $1,000. But the formula calibrates all of our hunches and it tells us where the focus should be. Because while that card, if it does go to that point, could give you like a 10% ROI, which is what the formula says it would be, there's millions of other cards that exist that you can make 50%, 60% ROI, 100% ROI. And so we are counting down the graded cards that are much, much higher than that Jason Tatum Prism Silver PSA 10 from 2017. Up next, our third best card right now per the formula. And this is for people on a budget too, by the way. So the last card was like $250. A lot of times people will say to me, look, I don't have that much money. Okay, well, I can help you make a 45% return on investment if you've got $33. If you've got $33 and some patience and the ability to go to nooffseason.com and get a free 30-day trial right now, you could get this Jordan Love 2020 Select 147 Premier level PSA 10. Not the silver, just the Premier level PSA 10. $33. Sold yesterday for that amount. This is a $60 card. This is a $60 card in September. The historical data shows it, not only for Jordan Love, but for other quarterbacks of his ilk with this card heading into the season that Jordan Love is heading into. So we do all that research for you. 45% ROI on this card. Okay, let's get to number 2 on the list. Again, you don't need a lot of money for this card either. We're sticking with football. And I think football makes a lot of sense here that the formula is spitting out football cards at the top because it's May 8th. It's May 8th. Everyone's paying attention to basketball. Everyone's paying attention to the NBA playoffs. Ant-Man's prices are berserk, bonkers. We're going to talk about that in a second after we get done counting down our top 5 here. So it makes sense. Go where they ain't now, right? Football. But the formula is also saying, hey, look, there's some basketball cards, right? You know, we had Zion's card, we had Paolo's card, but they're knocked out of the playoffs. So it's still going where they ain't a little bit. All right. Jahmyr Gibbs, 2023 Prism Base 331 PSA 10. This is a $24 entry card, although it has sold for as high as $39 recently. So it's fluctuating a little bit. So you may have to go up just a little bit from the 24 to get it, or better yet, be okay being outbid. You know, if you're outbid on this one, be okay being outbid. But it has sold in the last week for $24. It has sold a little bit more recently than that yesterday for $39, which totally cuts the profit margin out of this. However, it's a $60 card. It's a $60 card. So $60 card in, early NFL season if Gibbs pops off, or February if the Lions make it far in the playoffs. So it's a little bit on the risky side. You've got to have those selling markers in place, but it's a $60 card and it's a base card. You can get it for as low as $24 right now. Again, check out nooffseason.com, go to the formula-based rankings, click on this card. It'll take you to Jahmyr Gibbs' profile. Then that profile page will take you to all the Jahmyr Gibbs cards that the formula says you can make money on, including this one on eBay. All right, it's time for our number 1 card. George Schurer, baseball card curmudgeon. Brendan Lindgren made it just in time for the number 1 card to buy, graded, and flip. And again, it's a budget card. It's a budget card. That's the other thing I like about the formula, because the formula at nooffseason.com tells us you don't need a lot of money to make a huge return on investment in sports cards. You just don't. You just have to buy the right card for the right player at the right time and get it for the right price. So this would be $25 for Jalen Hurts 2020 Select number 50 Concourse PSA 10. This is basically just a base card. It's a common base card. Pop 1004. So it's accessible. It's achievable, $25. It's a $65 card just in September. It just is. Why? Because football season, people are hype about it, right? They're hype about it. So I'm in the lab all the time with my team at nooffseason.com, putting as many cards as I possibly can into this formula. We also have a feature, guys, whether you're a paid member or not. You can go to nooffseason.com and find our sports card ROI formula calculator. So that allows you to, on the raw to grade side of things, put in cards of your own. And it shows you how to do that on the page. You could do it for free. Put in cards of your own, and it'll tell you whether or not the formula thinks that you'll make money on it. All right. Up next, okay being outbid. But first, let's say hello again to Brendan Lindgren, baseball card curmudgeon, George Schurer. Here's a new name, Kaidon Salter, 2024 Heisman. Let's go get hype. Is this, hold on a second, is this Gabe Davis in a different account? Yes or no? Yes or no in the live chat, Kaidon Salter, 2024 Heisman. Let's go get hype. Y or N, is this actually Gabe Davis? I want to think it's a new nooffseason.com family member because I want new nooffseason.com family members. I want the community to grow, but I just have a feeling I'm starting to like get a little Gabe Davis vibe from this. All right, Card Snatcher. What's up to Card Snatcher? And yes, I was right. Gabe Davis has multiple accounts. Gabe, I mean, hey, maybe Gabe, you can help grow my Instagram following. You can help grow my Instagram following, Gabe. Let's talk, man. You know, if you've got multiple accounts, I could use the help on Instagram at Sports Card Strategy. You know, we all get DM'd all the time about, hey, buy 80,000 followers. Actually, drop a comment below at youtube.com/Paul Hickey if you think any of the sports card influencers out there, quote unquote influencers, are actually just buying their Instagram followers. Just let me know if you think. I can honestly say I have never done that. I don't have that many. I don't have that many. I would love it if Gabe Davis maybe just creates multiple Instagram accounts. If Kaidon Salter 2024 on Instagram for Heisman follows me at Sports Card Strategy, I'll be pumped. All right. Anyway, let's get back on track here, but I love it, Gabe. And we're going to talk about being okay being outbid. Okay. This is important to me. It goes along with the formula because, you know, in case you haven't picked up on this, basically the vibe of this show is we want you to make smart decisions. And it's okay if you're a collector and you want to overpay for a card. Everything's allowed. It's okay if, you know, you really have a gut feeling like our guy Vincent does, you know, about Jason Tatum. And if you want to overpay above and beyond what our formula tells you should be paying for these cards, that's fine. I mean, no one's going to be upset with you. I would just say you might not make money. Now, I'm okay being outbid. And so I'm okay showing you my actual eBay account and talking you through it on all of the auctions that I have lost recently and explaining why I'm okay being outbid. So recently I have lost several auctions for CJ Stroud 2023 Prism Silver Raw. Now, the formula tells me that I can make roughly 20 to 30% on that card if I get it between $293 and $300. Okay, that's math. That's real market data and real math that I can't debate. So I lost an auction recently for $308. Now, you might be saying, wow, you know, $293, you could have paid $15 more and got that card. Like, what's $15? Like, if you gem that, that's an $800 card. True, but it all adds up. And that's one thing that I don't think people talk enough about in the hobby, especially as it relates to flipping sports cards, because you got eBay fees to account for, you got shipping fees to account for. You know, you might promote an auction, you might not. I don't anymore because my promoted auctions that were the exact same as my non-promoted auctions actually underperformed the non-promoted ones. But anyway, the point is these fees add up. And so, you know, $15 actually could eat into a profit margin on a PSA 10. The PSA 10 value could come down a little bit, right? You know, CJ Stroud could get injured in training camp. You just never know. So, you know, and you could get a PSA 9, guys. I mean, you know, the gem rate on the CJ Stroud Prism Silver, you know, it's not an overwhelmingly high gem rate. So, you know, and photos on eBay are tough, right? So I think these are all reasons why you need to be okay being outbid. I think the biggest reason why is there's just millions and millions of cards to buy. So just move to the next card. The next one I wanted to bring up is, because this tells you like what I'm doing, right? Anthony Richardson 2023 Prism Laser Raw. You know, I'm wanting this card because the formula says I can make quite a bit of a return on investment on this card if I can get it for $44. Well, I lost an auction for $49.99. Same reasons I'm okay being outbid on the Stroud apply to the Richardson. There's just more cards. Just go to a different card. If you can't get it for the snipe price and your goal is to make money like mine is, move on to the next card. Be okay being outbid. Here's another great example. A guy I love, and there's no pun intended here, seriously. A guy I love is Jordan Love. All right? I love him because I think he's in a perfect situation in Green Bay. He had an amazing playoff performance last year. He got really hot at the end of the year. I liked him actually before that. I saw poise when I watched him play. I saw no difference in his mannerisms when he made a bad play or when he made a good play. I love that. I love that in an athlete. That's focus. And I think Jordan Love has it. I think Jordan Love is in a perfect situation with a young Packers team that continues to get better and better and add weapons around him and support around him to be a star, possibly even an MVP candidate in the NFL in the next few years. I would not be surprised if we saw him be an MVP candidate this year. Hot take. Jordan Love's 2020 Optic Holo Raw is a massive ROI card per the formula, but you got to get it for around $72. Okay. I lost 3 Jordan Love auctions. There's a lot of Jordan Love 2020 Optic Holo Raw auctions right now. And again, the quickest way to get them is to go to Jordan Love's profile at nooffseason.com. We link directly to that search. I lost auctions for 81, 118, and 98. I kind of regret the 81, right? Because that's super close to the 72, but I'm okay being outbid, especially on the 118 and the 98, because I can just put that money other places. And when you're trying to do what I'm doing, and I know we're all trying to do different things. In fact, drop a comment at youtube.com/Paul Hickey on this video. Let me know what you're trying to do. It might not be really related to what I'm talking about. I would love to know, because I'd love to help you out with whatever you're trying to do. But what I'm trying to do is like buy at scale, right? I'm trying to buy at scale cards that will make me money, that will make me the highest return on investment. That's why I built the formula. So you have to just go if you're trying to do what I'm doing, trying to make a living flipping sports cards. So I got to buy at scale. I got to get these raw cards quick. I got to get them graded, got to get them back, got to list them for sale. And so the raw to grade at nooffseason.com formula-based rankings is helping me do that. Hopefully it's helping you. Let me know. All right. Guys, I finally 10x'd a flip. It's taken me 4 years. I didn't even realize it. Like, I never set out to 10x a flip. I just don't. That's not, if you listen carefully to the content that I put out, I'm talking about 20 to 30% profit margins a lot. And I'm talking about mitigating risk a lot. And I'm usually not talking about waiting to try to be the top comp during the NBA playoffs. I'm usually not talking about waiting to be the top comp during the Super Bowl, right? I'm just not. I'm talking about having the ability to get in at the right price when no one's looking, aka go where they ain't, and then get out at a selling marker like August when people are just more interested in the NFL, for example. But I finally 10x this flip, and the way that I did it was I bought an HGA 9.5 2020 Anthony Edwards Prism Silver back in March 2023. And back in March 2023, I bought, and I'm constantly doing this. You'll see in a second when we do Will It Gem. I'm constantly buying cards in BGS and SGC slabs, and I'm cracking them, and sometimes HGA, and I'm cracking them and I'm submitting them to PSA. And because there's a way to do that where you can mitigate risk and you can have a high floor if you get a grade lower than you thought you're going to get, but a extremely high upside if you get a grade higher than you thought you were going to get. So there's more to come on that actually next week on the Sports Card Strategy Show. On Monday's episode, we're going to talk about not only the top 5 cards to buy raw, but also the top 5 cards to potentially crack and submit. So stay tuned for that episode on Monday. But back in March 2023, I found an Ant-Man 2020 Prism Silver HGA 9.5. It had high subgrades, for whatever that's worth with HGA. And I was a little bit nervous because it looked a little bit off center on the front, but I cracked it and I got a PSA 10. And I knew right away that I had an extremely high profit margin because I'm only about $80 into that card, like $80 max into that entire card, including the grading fee at PSA. I just sniped this HGA 9.5 on eBay. And so that's why I was nervous, like too good to be true, but it got a PSA 10. So I'm $80 into this card. And I had the ability to sell it for around $700 during September of 2023 when Ant-Man's prices went up during FIBA because he played really well. But I decided to hold it because in my mind, it was for sure going to be a $1,000 card at some point in time. And I sold it last week for $880. And I was pumped. And I still am pumped because I sold it last week for $880. That's a 10x. That's profit, right? That's a 10x profit that I'm not giving you all the details of the numbers, but it was a profit, okay, of 10x. I've 3x'd before, but never 10x'd until now. Well, now, as many of you have pointed out in the live chat, Anthony Edwards, that same card, just a week after I sold mine, just sold today. I just dropped the basketball card market update show on the Sports Card Strategy feed today. That card sold for $1,600 today. So it has doubled since I sold mine. Now, Ant-Man has continued to dominate in the NBA playoffs and has gone up 2-0 against the Nuggets, the defending champs. And he looks like the best player in the NBA for years to come. Now, I will pat myself on the back, everybody, because I did actually call that a couple of years ago on this show and at nooffseason.com back in 2022. He was our number one sports card investment for weeks at a time. He has the record. I think him and Giannis are probably tied for the record for the number one overall across all sports player to invest in per our sports card investment report, sports card rankings. Those have changed quite a bit. The way that we do those have changed quite a bit, but I'm excited to have 10x'd off of my guy, Ant-Man. I'm also fine. I talked about this on Lefty Cards on Monday night. Check out leftycards.com. Kendall the Lefty McKee does a great job there. Part of the nooffseason.com fam network. And we talked about the fact that we're okay rooting for a player and still having the same love for a player even after we've cashed out all of his or her cards and they continue to play well. And that's how I feel about Ant-Man. I'm not sad about the additional $880 that I've missed out on by selling a week ago. I'm excited about the $800 profit and the 10x, because I know that 10x does not come around very often, and it's insane to 20x. Like it takes what Ant-Man has done in the playoffs to 20x. And congrats to all of you any of you who have sold, whoever sold that for $1,600 today. Congratulations. Wayne Juice in the house says 10x, let's go. Appreciate your support. All right. So, what I want to say too real quick is that this Ant-Man call, I'm happy about it. I wanted to bring up the 10x to tell you guys it just doesn't happen very often. I've made like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sports card plays, and this is my first and only 10x. I think if there's content creators out there that you guys are seeing, that you're listening to, that are making it seem like they're doing this all the time, I'd question that. They might be, but it might be like, 0.1% of their transactions, and they might just be doing more transactions than me. And that's very possible. But I would just question the notion that this is happening all the time. It's just not, you're threading the needle to 10x really. And you're not only picking the right card for the right player at the right time, but then you're doubling down and parlaying on that bet by not selling at the clear selling marker when the price has gone up, 5x, 10x, to 20x is just insane. So congrats to the people who have 20x. I think, and I hope, and I know some of them are the one-on-one strategist people. So if you're loyal to the network, you know that I run a one-on-one strategist package for people of any level of investing in sports cards that just need my one-on-one assistance. This goes above and beyond the premium membership at nooffseason.com. And if you're interested in it, email me at paul@nooffseason.com. And I'll get back to you with some details on joining that program. There's always limited spots available. It's super, super limited because it takes up a lot of my time, and I don't have a lot of time. So I want to make sure that I do a good job for the one-on-one people. So I limit the amount of spots based on my bandwidth. So I know that the one-on-one members have made a lot of money on the Ant-Man 2020 Prism Silver PSA 10. And I'm excited about that. I'm not the only one. All right. So Joel Kaplan said he sold mine too early, but he's okay with it as well. Yeah, Joel, hopefully you made a good profit there, my man. All right. So what we're going to do next, before we open a repack product from Arena Club together, and you give me your reaction and I give you mine, we are going to do Will It Gem. So it's time for Will It Gem. And let's take a look at the video here at youtube.com/Paul Hickey. Let me know if you think this Darius Garland Kaboom BGS 9.5 that I am going to crack out of this BGS 9.5 slab is going to gem. And so there is a 10 subgrade. There's 2 9.5 subgrades, and there's 1 9 subgrade. The 10 is edges. The 9 is corners. And centering and surface are both 9.5s. I bought this card for $850 all in. The latest BGS 9.5 comp is $1,050 on February 24th. The 365-day average for this BGS 9.5 is $1,530. So I'm up on this card, but I have not been able to move it for the price that I've wanted to move it for, despite the Cavs advancing to the conference semis. Now, they did go down 1-0-1 last night to the Celtics. But I'm just kind of wanting another PSA 10, to be honest with you. I have a PSA 10 of this card. The PSA 10 of this card is a Pop 12. The last sale was $1,160 on February 25th. Full disclosure, that is my card. So I am the $1,160 comp on February 25th, I believe. The 365-day average, though, for a BGS 9.5 is $3,500 for this DG Kaboom. So this would be a massive, massive win for me if this gems at PSA. And For those of you watching at youtube.com/Paul Hickey right now, you'll see I've got to cut it out of the protective sleeve that the BGS slabs come in. I actually have come to really, really like that because it's just an extra element of safety. Although it does add an extra element of risk because you have to get it out of the protective sleeve. So it's good and bad. I feel like I did not damage this card in any way, shape, or form, getting it out of this BGS holder and slab. And, for those of you at youtube.com/Paul Hickey watching now, drop a comment below and let me know if you think this is going to gem. I see a very incredibly minute white top left corner on the back. I don't see any issues with the card other than that. And based on current PSA grading standards, this should gem. And what a beautiful card. This is DG's like #1 rookie card, by the way, because he does not have Panini rookie autos. He's Upper Deck exclusive autos. So there's no real chance at a bigger card than this for DG, unless you get like a gold Kaboom or like a gold Prism. All right, up next on Will It Gem is a 2023 Connor Bedard Young Guns. Now, I opted to get this. I've bought several of these. I opted to get this in an SGC 10 because it's already gemmed at a reputable grading company owned by PSA, right? So PSA owns SGC. So they should have very, very similar grading standards, you would think. I paid $640 in SGC 10 for this Connor Bedard Young Guns. The latest SGC 10 is $700. The latest PSA 10, which is a Pop 2144, is $946 yesterday. So that's a big profit margin to go from $640 to $946. Because it's only a $20 grading fee. I say $21 because it's $19.99, but I kind of split the shipping across all the cards in the shipment because PSA charges you to ship it back. So I like this. I did well cracking it out, and I think it's going to gem. There's no issues with this card. Although I will say this about Connor Bedard's Young Guns. See how the photo on the front has fans in it, and the photo and the back kind of has a funky design. For hockey card enthusiasts, you probably are used to this, but if you're dabbling in hockey like me because of Bedard, you're kind of a fly-by-night hockey guy because of this generational talent that we have now. You're getting used to the fact that Young Guns cards are really hard to judge the condition of on the edges because of the photo. So it could sometimes, like, the photo and the design of the edges look like it could actually be like a bent, dinged corner or a scratch. But here's my grading submission so far. I got the Brandon Miller Silver, the DG Kaboom, the Bedard, Caleb Williams out of 99 auto, 2 Paul Skeens base autos, and the Victor Wembanyama Silver. So building the collection, had a couple more show up in the mail that I'll share with you guys on Monday, but I'm building up the collection to get to 20 so that then we can get the grading submission in. And speaking of grading submissions, if I were doing this for my PC, I would do this with CGC cards. I don't PC, but if I did, and those of you that do, I highly encourage you to do your PC cards with CGC cards. Are you ready to start grading your cards? CGC cards is the perfect place to slab your favorite sports cards. From their crystal clear holders to their affordable pricing, CGC cards is the perfect stop for your grading needs. Go to cgccards.com to start grading today. So that's for those of you that want to grade for your PC. If you're grading to flip, I highly recommend PSA, but we love CGC. And up next, we're going to open an Arena Club slab pack. So let's do it. Let's do it right now. All right. So slab packs are a few different price levels. Basically what they are they're repacked slabs from multiple grading companies. And you can get a Ruby pack for usually around $400. a gold for around 200, a silver for 100, and the silver has 3 slabs per pack. You can get a black for 50. So you can get 4 slabs for $50 in black, 3 slabs for $100 in the silver, 2 slabs in the gold for $200, and two slabs in 1 ruby slab pack for $400. So, one can assume, if you do that math, that you are getting a lower hit rate with the lower dollar slab packs that give you more slabs. So I wanted to do football. And so I go ahead and do a football gold pack at Arena Club. And my friends at Arena Club did give me a credit to try this. So shout out to Matthew and the Arena Club team. Really appreciate you for reaching out. Let's do the reveal together. And you're not going to hear the really cool music that gets me pumped, but you're going to get the gist of the experience here. It's a bit like opening an NBA Top Shot, but I really like the way they do this because it's a physical product. So it goes into your Arena Club vault after you open it. It immediately goes into your Arena Club vault account. And you can also do a buyback program. So if you want to pay an additional $20, this is what I like about this repack product, by the way. If you want to pay an additional $20 in the case of the gold pack, you can add it to the buyback program. It's basically like an insurance policy. If you get skunked, if you don't get anything good in your slab pack, they will buy it back from you for 80%. And that is a good deal because you're only going to be out in that case, just like 30 or $40 instead of the whole 200. So if you get skunked and you don't get a good hit, I highly encourage you to do the buyback program, but you got to make that decision up front. So you make that decision up front, and then you only have a couple of minutes after you open your pack to actually take advantage of the buyback program. But here we go. We're opening my slab pack, and the first one is a Kirk Cousins 2022 Select Premier Level Silver autograph out of 30. So boom, like right off the bat, I win. Thank you, Arena Club. I win. It's a beautiful card. It's an Arena Club graded 9.5, 10 auto. And then the next one is a Joe Burrow 2020 Donruss. Let me get to it here. Donruss Optic. But this is a variation, a Donruss Optic variation. Like it's like a black and white variation. And it's a PSA 9. Yeah, Donruss Optic variation PSA 9. So the going rate for that card alone is around $90. The Cousins doesn't really have comps. But they're both sick cards. Like I made out huge on this. And if you're a premium member at nooffseason.com, I may want to give one of these away for you. So, as a thank you for being a premium member at nooffseason.com, I may want to give one of these away. Here's the signature white prism. So this is a signature white prism. It says it's serial numbered out of 30, serial numbered 21 out of 30. Kirk Cousins 2022 Select. Pumped about that card. Should be a big one. And the Burrow, we'll take a look at the Burrow here in a second. And the Burrow, again, is a PSA 9. So I'm excited about that one. I did not do the buyback program. Obviously, I would have had to have done it right then. So this Burrow is a Donruss Optic black and white 2020 rated rookie variation PSA 9. And the going rate is around between $80 and $90 right now. And I just went ahead and had them ship it to me. So you can go into your account. And if you're watching at youtube.com/Paul Hickey, it's showing you how to do this. You can list these cards immediately after opening them on the Arena Club marketplace if you want. or you can have them shipped back directly to you. And it only costs 50 cents because there's a promo code that they give you that you enter in to check out and have your cards shipped to you. So the slab packs at Arena Club, I mean, I got lucky. And I mean, I if I wouldn't have gotten lucky, I probably would have used the buyback program. But what a great experience at Arena Club. Really, really appreciate Arena Club for doing this. And in terms of listing, so retrieving your cards. So you go to your account up in the top right, click your name, and then click retrieve cards. You have to then select retrieve card. You have to put in, you have to check the box next to retrieve card for each of them. And then you also have to put in an estimated value of the selected cards. That's one thing you have to do. That's simply for the insurance that Arena Club has to pay to ship the cards for you. So don't let that psych you out. I think I put $200 in there. And then on the next screen, on the checkout screen, that's where you put in the promo code after it lets you click retrieve cards. If you don't have an address in there, you put in your address. And then I don't know exactly when I will get these cards, but as you can see right there, they are on their way to me. And I now have 0 cards left in my Arena Club vault, but I probably will be back for another slab pack because I think it gives you a nice balance. We talk on the Sports Card Strategy Show often about having fun, but also not making dumb decisions. And I told the guys at Arena Club, I said, look, this could be a perfect fit potentially for the nooffseason.com fam, because the nooffseason.com fam wants to have fun. They want to open product. They want to get that rush, but they don't want to get burned. You know, they want to make smart financial decisions. And so the fact that you can do the buyback program, that's pretty BA, honestly. So I highly encourage you guys to check out arenaclub.com, maybe get in a slab pack drop. Definitely reach out to arenaclub.com and tell them Sports Card Strategy Show sent you. But I also want your opinions on this. And so drop a comment below at youtube.com/Paul Hickey and follow us on Instagram at Sports Card Strategy. And make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/Paul Hickey. And if you do all those things and you're a premium member at nooffseason.com and you want to send me an email with proof of all of that, I may or may not give away one of these slabs to you. So really appreciate the nooffseason.com fam. Let's go through some quick audience questions. My guy Shane Graham has a few of them. And I got a few things starred. And Wayne Juice says that they need the one-on-one package and will be emailing. So I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Gabe Davis says he 7.5x'd is his best with Bowman football. That's great, man. That's great. All right, so let's do our starred comments here. Shane Graham, Paul, thoughts on Ant-Man prices still skyrocketing. His PSA 10 silver is now over $1,500. Unfortunately, I sold off most of my stuff for him at the beginning of the year. I mean, dude, thoughts is that like this is what happens this is what happens all the time. It's not all the time that we all have the guy's cards, you know. And what I mean by that specifically is that when a player has a performance spike, this happens all the time to their prices. The tricky part is predicting the performance spike. That's why we always set the expectations on the Sports Card Strategy Show and at nooffseason.com to basically say, we're not trying to help you get to the performance spike. If you get to the performance spike, that's just really, really, really good fortune or really good luck in some cases. And so I'm not worried about the prices continuing to go up. I mean, again, I said the raw to grade rankings at nooffseason.com still say there's opportunities for some of Ant-Man's cards. Generally, he's a sell though, right? Or he's a fade right now because he is up so much. So thanks for the question, Shane. I'm getting you, brother, because you're loyal in the live chat, loyal guy here at the Sports Card Strategy Show. And I really want most people, though, asking questions at nooffseason.com/ask. Sean Red 5 Cards says one-on-one package is totally worth it. Highly recommend. Thanks, Sean. Sean is confirmed as a real one-on-one subscriber, so appreciate that. Gabe Davis says he traded for Desmond Ridder in a rookie draft. with a puke emoji. That had to have just been a throw-in, right? Or it's like a super duper flex league. Interesting. Okay. Shane Graham has a small W to share as well on a graded card. Bought a Donovan Mitchell Optic Premium out of 249 PSA 10 for $81 in December. Sold yesterday for $150. Trying to get out before they get swept by the Celtics. That's actually like really good value. Shane, thanks so much for dropping that in the live chat, brother, because that's really good value for the listeners. Like what Shane did there is he just bought during the huge dip in basketball cards in December. And typically there's a huge dip in all sports cards in December, not necessarily for the top baseball prospects, but definitely for a lot of the top basketball guys and a lot of the top football guys. We call it the mid-season dip in football. And it's just generally the between Thanksgiving and Christmas dip. So great work there, Shane. That's just simply getting in at the right time and getting out at the right time. And I love how you got out before it looks like Cleveland's gonna get annihilated by Boston, but I hope not because of my DG kaboom. And Shane also says, are you worried about Paul Skeens with his potential call-up coming soon, specifically sending it into PSA right now and then having the card at PSA during the call-up? Not really. And here's why, Shane. I don't think you're a premium member at nooffseason.com. But if you were, you would see that on the raw to grade formula-based rankings, the Skeens card is going to yield a profit regardless of the call-up hype and all that stuff. So if I send in the Skeens, what I've got to do is I've got to get the Skeens in probably to PSA in the next week or so, which I will. And then it's going to generate enough profit margin for me because I will have it back by July. And even if he gets called up before July, the card is not going to dip enough in either a 9 or a 10, which I will get. It looks like I think I'm going to get 1 9 and 1 10. So that's going to be a profit. So the raw to grade rankings are not at all based on selling markers. In fact, I think the fact that he could already be in the big leagues could help me in that case, because we've seen the call up for guys that are the top prospects hold their prices steady even when they perform poorly, and not necessarily spike unless they play well. So I think like for all those reasons, and it's a great question because I know it's going to be relevant to a lot of people out there. If you're following the play that I'm following with our formula at nooffseason.com, you're going to be in good shape. If you're doing your own thing, then I can't speak to that. But everybody, thanks so much for being here on this episode of the Sports Card Strategy Show. You know where to get us. We got content coming like multiple times every day now. So definitely drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. Hit me up, Paul at nooffseason.com if you want that one-on-one strategist package. Everybody have a great day. Thanks so much for being here with us on the Sports Card Strategy Show. To connect with us further, please subscribe to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/Paul Hickey. Please also give us a follow on Instagram at Sports Card Strategy and on X at nooffseasoncard. We also have a Discord that you could join at sportscardstrategy.com. Everyone, I'm Paul Hickey. For the rest of us here at nooffseason.com, have a great day. We'll see you again soon.